So the repression is bipartisan. This is not, going to be a current thing like Black Lives Matter was.
Definitely not.
The NGO industrial complex is not going to come in and give everybody hundreds of millions of dollars from the Ford Foundation so that they can go home and go have NGO jobs. The Democrats are not going to celebrate this because it can't be used. It's not a political utility. It's a political liability. Joe Biden is being badly damaged by these scenes. And so here we have 21 House Democrats signing on to a letter calling for Columbia University's board to end this peaceful anti-genocide encampment. Again, there is no clear legal violation from the students. And if they were doing this to save the climate, this wouldn't be happening. Instead, they're doing this to save actual living people on the earth who are being slaughtered at an industrial scale by a country that is revered by major donors to Columbia University and the donors to this grotesque gallery of neocon Democrats, starting with Adam Schiff. I mean, if you want to know who's run by the Israel lobby, here they are. Adam Schiff, who's, I guess, going to be California's senator soon.
Yes, unfortunately. The letter they sent calls the protests at Columbia unauthorized and impermissible encampment of anti-Israel, anti-Jewish activists on campus, even though, of course, there are Jews among that encampment. And of course, even if there weren't Jews in that encampment, it still wouldn't make a difference. It still wouldn't show that, it still wouldn't lend any credence to these claims that they're anti-Jewish, because being anti-genocide does not mean you're anti-Jewish, but these people can't acknowledge that distinction. And therefore, they're trying to smear this letter. Other people on the list, Dan Goldman, the heir to the Levi Strauss fortune. But I really love that Adam Schiff is at the top of that list, because Adam Schiff is the top Russiagate fraudster who whipped up years of paranoia about so-called Russian interference in U.S. democracy. It's all he talked about for years and years and years, pushing deranged conspiracy theories. So here he is now acting on behalf of a foreign apartheid state with the most direct interference I could think of, trying to shut down free speech and students protesting a foreign state's mass murder campaign. And Adam Schiff's response, rather than railing against this intrusion on democracy, is to support it and to call for cracking down on students. So, I mean, that underscores yet again that Russiagate was a neocon fraud and was a distraction from the actual acts of meddling in our democracy, foremost being arguably on behalf of Israel, which controls pretty much everybody who signed that list. And AIPAC Tracker put it together. The amount of lobby money that goes into that list of 21 signatories is $10,996,000, so almost $11 million in Israel lobby money accounted for in those 21 signatories.
This is Adam Schiff and this is his son wearing a Mossad shirt. I mean, this is from a Facebook post I found on Adam Schiff's page. He's basically, his son sporting the shirt of a foreign intelligence agency that interferes heavily in American politics at a time when Adam Schiff is redirecting to Russia. So that's Adam Schiff. You got Dan Goldman on there. Donald Norcross, he's from basically the mafia of South Jersey, the Norcross family. They control all politics in South Jersey through the insurance racket they run, and basically just keep everything poor and poorly governed. Then you got Richie Torres, of course. I mean, who's Richie Torres? Israel just basically went out. They went to the poorest district in America in the South Bronx, where there's very low voter participation, and they bought a gay Puerto Rican guy. Like, he's literally owned by Israel. He doesn't do anything but hang out with Israeli propagandists in Israel. He does nothing for his district. He's rarely there. And it's the perfect cover for apartheid to have a gay Puerto Rican guy. And he's not even entertaining like the ones on Seinfeld. Like, he has no charisma at all. He's just a face for apartheid. It's the perfect, these liberals are the perfect face for apartheid. And then we have the Israel lobby itself, Jewish federations, the ADL, who else is on there? Various B'nai B'rith. They're calling for the U.S. government and the FBI to use FISA to surveil and investigate all student protesters, to basically, they're calling for the authorization of FISA warrants on anyone who protests, any American who protests Israel. Now, if you protest an American war, they're not going to do that, but you're protesting a foreign country's war as an American. And the Israel lobby is calling for the FBI to basically ruin your life and treat you as a foreign terrorist when you are, in fact, an American citizen. All of this is clear proof that the greatest threat to the First Amendment in this country is coming from the cutouts of a foreign apartheid state called Israel. And the Israel lobby is the enemy of the American people. It is an enemy of the people. We are under political occupation right now, and it just needs to be called out for what it is. This wouldn't be happening if they were protesting in the same way for something else that was officially sanctioned or served the conservative agenda or the Davos agenda. And they,
it's just so bipartisan. You know, Donald Trump Jr. has been calling for these protests to be shut down. I think Trump too as well. I mean, it's everybody. It's everybody. It's everybody in power. There's and even those, of course, who are standing up for the rights of protesters, like Bernie Sanders, has still gone out of his way to condemn some protesters as being anti-Semitic and saying there's a problem of anti-Semitism in the movement. No, I mean, it's all just a giant manufactured scam to try to demonize a genuinely grassroots movement with people putting their bodies on the line to stop a genocide.